Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Gothalion. We're back here, Borderlands 2, to talk about Borderlands, the pre-sequel yet again. We are getting so close to that October 14th release date in the US, October 17th worldwide. And there's one subject that I really wanted to touch base on, probably more than once on the way leading up to Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and that's going to be boss fights, and specifically raid boss fights, because I feel like Borderlands 2 and some of the raid boss fights, they were really close to hitting that sweet spot, that really nice balance of difficulty but not like being overly cheap outside of Veracitus. But I feel like they didn't quite hit that sweet spot for raid bosses just yet inside the series. If we go back to Borderlands 1, Cromrex felt kind of really lame as far as raid bosses go, and some people are probably going to disagree with me. But the fact that you could just cheese them out with one spot on a ledge was kind of duty, and even Gearbox sort of made a joke about that going into the Son of Cromrax raid boss inside of the Headhunter pack where we got to fight Cromrax. But, you know, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on things in a state of raid bosses inside of Borderlands. First and foremost, I don't feel like raid bosses should have this overwhelming feeling of I need to heal, I need to heal, I need to heal, I need to heal. And the most of the raid bosses kind of follow that little pattern of damage, heal, damage, heal, damage, heal. And that comes a lot from either grenades or moxie weapons or whatever. I feel like any healing done inside of bosses should be able to be done via player skills or throughout mechanics within the boss fight. I really liked Hyperion as a raid boss inside of Borderlands 2, but at the same time, I didn't like all of his mechanics. Hyperion as a raid boss kind of sucked in the sense that he had unavoidable novas, and unavoidable novas are something that it looked like they were going to do away with because of if the Cromrax fight is indicative of the future of raid bosses inside the Borderlands universe. Cromrax, or Son of Cromrax, the Invincible, he had avoidable novas. He had a tell with his nova that let you know where they were going to be at all times, and you could get out of it. I liked having avoidable tells. I feel like the game should let you know where things are going to hit you, and you should be able to avoid novas inside of boss fights. There shouldn't be unavoidable hits. Veracitus, during his Enrage, has this just unavoidable nova, which is kind of bullshit. I felt like his Enrage timer was a little bit overdone, and I also feel like his basic attacks were pretty much kind of bullshit as well. I really hope that they don't go a Veracitus route on any of the raid bosses. I do like difficulty. I love difficulty in raid bosses, but I don't like difficulty for dumb reasons. I don't like it to be bullshit reasons. I don't like it to be unavoidable shit. Outside of that, I would like raid bosses inside of the pre-sequel to take a route that's more interesting than just being a bag of flesh. I was saying that I liked Hyperion. I like him because of his shield mechanic in it, where you actually have to do something in order to lower a shield on him to make him vulnerable. But if the thing that you have to do is kind of difficult, I would like it to be evened out with him maybe not being a bag of flesh on top of having this mechanic that you have to go through in order to lower his shields, in order to make him vulnerable to damage. I feel like if you have to make something vulnerable and he is otherwise invulnerable, then, you know, when he is vulnerable, then he should be more susceptible to all incoming forms of damage. That's just my point of view. I'd like to know how you guys feel about that. I would like to see things inside the pre-sequel in boss fights and raid boss fights where we have to use environmental effects in order to make bosses vulnerable to your damage. I think that would be really cool, or environmental things that would make them more susceptible to damage, like some sort of damage amplifying mechanic that can only be done by triggering things within the arena that you're fighting the boss. Again, that's my opinion on the whole situation. I liked the Romeo and Juliet mechanic that they used inside the Goliath fight. That's where you have to kill them both within a certain amount of time of each other. I think the Ancient Dragons of Destruction would have really benefited if you would have had to kill them all within a certain amount of time of each other, or kill them all in succession, so you'd have to weaken all of them and then kill them all the second time they land. But if they would have done that, then they would have had to weaken the dragons a bit. I think it would have made the fight more interesting. Not saying that that's a bad fight. I do like that fight. I like how they all have their own little abilities. I think Terramorphous is kind of the worst designed boss out of all of them, minus Veracitus. I don't like to include Veracitus in this shit, because Veracitus is just, he's bogus. He was legitimately built to be a pain in the ass, which I don't know if that's the right route to take to keep your fans going. I don't think intentionally trolling your fans is a good way to keep them happy, but I do feel like 2K Australia has taken a lot of smart moves inside the pre-sequel, so I don't think we're going to run into a lot of that intentional trolling with boss fights or other mechanics otherwise inside the game. Outside of that, I'd like to really know how you guys feel. What kind of boss mechanics would you like to see? And what kind of boss mechanics would you definitely not like to see in Borderlands, the pre-sequel? Sound off in the comment section below, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button if you appreciate this video, or, you know, fucking agree with any of the shit that I am saying here. And as always, again, I will see you guys back inside the pre-sequel.